All right, everyone. Welcome to Monday, November 14th, 2022. And, all right, so kind of a weird market, a little bit, not too bad. Volume is low. And so, for that reason, I'm going to be kind of careful today. I did take four trades in the sim on a rip that just happened about 10 minutes ago. Initially made some good money right off the bat, and then took a couple losses as well. So we were up 562.50. Now we're down 562.50. Pretty much the exact same thing in both directions. Either way, last I checked, it was making a momentum move to the downside. But just wanted to get the stream started. Say what up to everyone. Say happy Monday, Optimus, and let's go ahead and dive in. First, I'm gonna sip some tea though. All right, let's pull up some charts here. Jump down into the corner, and here we are. Okay, so we take a look at the 1 minute chart on the ES. You can see that we're getting some momentum to the downside. You can see that happening here with this the spread on the TTM. Now we pulled back to around the 50 EMA, and we're kind of bouncing a little bit off of that. I'm actually going to join the bid right here and see if we can just get a nice quick trade to the upside. Um, be looking for bounces off the EMA 35. We're currently bouncing off the 50. We are in the 9 below 12 category and the 26-12 crossover to the downside. So this is a little bit more of a risky trade, but that's okay. Um, you know, no risk, no reward. Obviously, we do want to try to follow our trade plan with this. Our entry here was 95 and a quarter, and we're looking for a move back up towards the upside to about 97. Um, it may be a little too much to ask though, because if you do look at the TTM on the 3 minute chart, we are still pulling back. Gonna go ahead and cut this trade now. Down 1187.50 on the day. Not a big deal. We've come back from this before. Um, but we're going to wait till we get some momentum, or rather, some personal momentum. Not necessarily momentum in the charts, but some personal momentum before we start trading in our evaluation today. I don't just want to do longs. I'm open to shorts today, but right now it's currently above the VWAP. This would have been a nice short here off of really off of this level, off of 4,000, but didn't quite happen. So what we're going to be looking for next is a yellow candle on the TTM. And you guys have heard me talk about this before. It's kind of the dip and rip that I like to call it. The dip rip to the cyan switch. And getting some push up there. What's this momentum looking like? Currently 3.7 to 4.8 to 5.8. So it's still a lot of momentum to the downside on the TTM as well. So we are going to be looking. This candle, by the way, is almost the exact same level as that candle was. 5.8, 5.6. Looks like 94 is a reasonable entry if we're going long. Gonna head up along here and see if we can push up to 96. Already made a little bit of profit on this trade so far, but remember, no profit is locked in until it's sold. Hitting, you see that double top right there, right at that 90 EMA, right around 95. Got a possible crossover happening on the 2612, and you can see the momentum kind of stabling off down there at the bottom. And hey, what's up, Douglas? Good to see you here, brother. Yeah, dude, T is I'm all about it on T. Let's jump over to the evaluation. Let's see if there's an op here. Did just get a yellow candle on the TTM. It's back and forth between yellow and red though, so I don't want to take it quite yet. Although I may regret not taking it. Just manipulating the charts a little bit. I'm gonna put this up to let's do 15 ticks and see if we can get an entry around 97. Missed that entry. Try to get in at 97. Jumped Popped up to 98. Now we're looking for a little pullback. Joined the bid here in the evaluation. In at 99, higher than I wanted
Order
to be.
filled.
Looking to get out at 4.75. That's higher than I wanted to be in this trade, and so I may actually put this right at 4,000. And hopefully we get that. Ready to cut it quick because we were super close to earning funding. So I want to make sure that we are.
Order filled.
Okay, there we go. We got that trade. That was worth 250. Oh no, I'm sorry. What was our entry then? Oh, it was 99.50. So we get 2 ticks on that trade. It ended up popping up to 4,3/4. We would have got the actual full amount, provided that it filled. I should have only dropped it maybe 1 tick. Then we could have pulled up 4 ticks, which would have been worth 250. But we did make $100 on that, a little over, 125 before fees. So that was our dip rip to yellow. 5.0 to 4.6, now to 4.0 on the TTM. We did have a nice $10,000 day last week. That was freaking awesome. I was super pumped about that. You can see that rejection right there at 4,000 on the ES. Gonna cut this. Okay, so we're not as bad off as we were, but we're still a little bad off in the sim. Got 1,375 to make back up. That's okay. We got this possible crossover inbound, and we did get a nice solid green trade on the evaluation, which is what really matters. We need about $500 more, 550 actually, in order to earn funding in the futures market in our evaluation. So guys, I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. I know I did. I hope you spent some time to learn about yourself. Take some time to work on yourself. You know, there's this line in this Big Sean song where it says, working on yourself is the most important work, even if you don't get paid for it. And it's super true because I can tell you that all the times that I've ever spent time to work on myself, that was, whew, gonna get stretched out here. All the time I took to work on myself over the years has always paid dividends. Far more than any stock, far more than any business and investment ever. It's always paid a lot of dividends to work on myself. So I hope you guys had some just a good weekend that was restful, rejuvenated, and hopefully you guys had some sort of breakthrough. Jumping back over to the charts and see what we got on the 1 minute here. You see we're gaining a little bit of traction on the TTM. Let's try the bid here. Entered at 97.25, and the exit point is at 4,001. I don't think that's unreasonable, but I think that I'm going to actually put it at 99.75 because I'm not sure if we'll get rejected at 4,000. Momentum looking like 4.3 to 3.8 to 3.5. So momentum is minimal. I'm not going to say there's strong momentum to the upside. Or strong momentum really either way right now. March is at 97.25. Where did this hit resistance? Right there at 99. So I'm actually, because I hit resistance at 99, I may put mine at 98.5. We're in this 5 contracts, currently down $1 in it. We'll be looking for a bounce off the EMA 35. That's this blue line right here. And I'd also be looking for the 9 to get above the 12. When the 9 gets above the 12, then I might be interested in taking another trade in the evaluation. Looks like we might get there because we got this doji here at 96. $95.5. Big pullback. Right at my risk level. Risk level is usually at 500. It's typically where I like to keep it. And that's because we're normally making more than 500 per trade. Although we do average about 230 per trade most of the time on our profitable days. But we always track our fees or our net profits and all that type of stuff. Now, what we're looking for here, you see this yellow line, this is the 9 EMA, and this cyan line, this is the 12 EMA. We're looking for the 9 to cross above the 12, because that really gives us a lot of solid momentum toward the upside. I'm just trying to get over here to the evaluation. Wow, so laggy. That's that was annoying because I think I could have capitalized on that trade, but I'm just trying to jump back and forth between too many windows a lot of the times. I think that scalps of like $2 scalps seem kind of reasonable on the day to day, just based on the movement. Do have this possible crossover yet again, and it's looking stronger this time around. Join the bid here at
Order
right at
filled.
4,000. Looking to get at 4,001 and a quarter. I wish I got it at 99. I tried to, but it just moved a little too quick for me. Now down in this trade. Ready to cut this. I really wish I didn't enter at 4,000. I wish I entered at 99. That was where I was attempting to get in at. 9 is currently above the 12, so I am going to keep this trade. Actually, might. I'm going to put this right at 401. 4,001. Okay. We got that trade.
Order filled.
There it is. That was 4 ticks to the upside. Still pushing. A lot of momentum now. It's funny. My intuition said do 4,002. Gotta listen to that intuition, guys. Yikes. Just got a fresh cyan switch. So that was the dip, rip, cyan switch. The whole gambit. That was the whole 9 right there. Entered it in here on the sim at 4,001 and 50, and looking to get out at 4,003 and 50. But I'm actually gonna drop that to 4,003. Like I said, I think that I'm gonna be focused on more on scalping a little bit today. Um, Since I'm really looking for the momentum to stay consistent. As you can see, this is what I'm talking about. It's a little choppy, so stay safe out there, guys. It is a bit choppy on the day. This one went past my risk. I do think it's gonna pop back up though. Maybe not. Holding on to it for this moment, although I may regret it. Enters at 4,001.5. Momentum looking like 0.2 to 1.2 to 2.1. So momentum on the TTM of the 1 minute chart moving up at about a factor of almost a point, right around that area. Checking this against the 3 minute chart. Whew. And sometimes I feel like hunchbacked when I'm like just leaned over the charts all this time. Checking this against 3. Excuse me. I'm just gonna check in with you guys, see how y'all doing today. As I jump back and forth between our Discord group, we do have an awesome Discord group. You guys may want to check them out. It is joelstraight.com/discord, but there is also a link in the description if you would like to join our community. We talk about everything from entrepreneurship to trading to investing to cryptocurrency, a bunch of different stuff. So, good vibes. Yeah. Thanks for the insight. Yeah, of course, man. Always happy. Bring whatever insight I can. This is pulling back way too much. We already hit our risk and then some. I'm gonna cut that and we'll just deal with the loss. 1437, not the worst that we've been on the day, but I certainly could be trading better in the sim. Gratefully, the issues are in the sim and not in the evaluation today. So, whatever is off in my trading, I need to work on that. I may keep it a little short today just because of the choppiness and the lower volume. And also because I don't want to end up over trading in my eval. Just so you guys can see right here, we're at 52,684 and we need to hit 53,000. So what that looks like is 1,000 minus that 684.46. We only need $315.54 in order to earn our funding. That's very little. That is only like 7 ticks as one 7-tick trade. That is very, very doable. Got this double top here. Right around 4,002. Our high of the day is 4,009.75. That was actually on Friday. Am I on the 5-day chart? No, this is a 1-day chart. But because of the weekend. So that was considered our high. Our low is considered down at 3980 area. I'm going to put this one here as what I consider to be the low. I'm going to throw a yellow on it. And real question is, are we going to get a test of those highs? You know, that's a really big question there. But I think 4,005, as you can see, has been a pretty heavy line in the sand here. And I just want to see some bounce off of that. So, jumping back over to you guys. So, how are you guys doing so far? It's kind of a slower day. There definitely could be a lot more volume. It's a little lightweight right now. So, um, but yeah, guys. Hopefully, y'all are doing good. Y'all are being safe. Yeah, it feels like it's just bouncing around too. I totally agree with that. I think it's just like it's very much just like having it's just kind of bouncing off a view up and then bouncing back up and then kind of just moving around on that area. I think that after not yesterday's but last week's crazy bull run, I think that a lot of people are probably pretty skittish. I know I am. I personally feel pretty skittish about it, just because it ran so heavily off of very little data, and I guess that's really what a lot of the markets are. They're just speculation, but how heavily it did run made me feel hesitant for today. And I thought about it all weekend. I was thinking to myself, man, I wonder what the markets are going to do on Monday because of how crazy it was. Now, normally Monday comes around, I just come, I sit down, and I trade the chart in front of me. And as you guys know, I always trade the chart in front of me. I don't get stuck in this news cycle stuff where I ignore my family or get angry or any of that other stuff, because getting caught in the news cycle will mess with my psychology, and it's my psychology that matters above all else. My psychology is my strategy. I don't believe that anybody can have a strategy without having the right psychology. Your strategy is meaningless without psychology. At least that's my opinion. Um, and getting caught in the news cycle, that can eventually like put me in a place where I'm like, oh my gosh, did you hear that? This is happening over in this country and over in our country. I mean, I can't believe they proposed that law. There's so many issues with it, and I'll like get into this sort of thinking, this sort of mindset, often about things that I can't control, that that erode my energy units and take me out of my own focus and my own psychology. So typically, I'm normally just trading the chart in front of me, and today the chart in front of me is saying that there is super low volume today, and like Douglas said, it's pretty much just kind of chopping around. Um, and so that was why my trade plan really focused a lot on scalping today. In fact, I'm actually gonna even put this down at like 3 ticks and just try and take some little micro trades. Got an entry at 97, trying to get out of 97 and 3/4. Right as I entered, it immediately pulled back, which I guess makes sense considering that the nine's below 12. And I'm just gonna cut that here, or maybe not. I mean, look at that. That's kind of chop. We're like, okay, well, about to cut it. No, wait, pop. That's kind of chop that we're dealing with right now. Still dropping. But like I said, it actually does. It does kind of make sense because the nine's below 12. I'm just gonna cut that. Take that L. Down 2K on the day. Um, and I really don't know which directions this is gonna go right now. Because we had this 1226 crossover right here that dropped, bounced off the 50. We've got another 1226 crossover inbound, and that's bouncing again off the 50. Now here's the deal. Cool. Music stopped. Piano plays out. Music stopped. The boy had a key and he got trapped. I totally agree with this. People are still unsure with the crypto sentiment and the CPI being decent. Most don't know what to do, and I honestly agree with that. Like I really think that with crypto dropping, with Bitcoin dropping below 20, and now in the like 17 territory, and a bunch of other cryptos dropping. I know one of my staking uh, accounts has dropped pretty significantly. Um, I think with crypto dropping as much as it has been, with like Douglas said, with the decent CPI data. Here's the thing about CPI, like it's inflation is cyclical, and when inflation, what happens during times of heavy inflation is companies are like, dude, there's a profit opportunity here. Yeah, sure, the companies might pay an additional 5% or something like that for their cost of goods, but they're able to mark things up 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 150%, which I've seen. um, you know, and so they're like, okay, we pay 5 to 10% more in order to make it, but we're making 140% more profit. You know what I mean? So, and then it goes to a point to where consumers feel super stretched and they stop buying, or at least slow their buying, and then companies are like, okay, we went a little far, so let's go ahead and reduce the prices a little bit. So they reduce the prices by 30% or 20% or something like that. Now all of a sudden people feel like they're getting a deal because it was $100, it went up to 175. Now it's back down at 150, and people are like, "Oh my God, this is a crazy good deal," and it's pretty frustrating, but that's part of inflation. So when those things come back down, all of a sudden you'll have the Federal Reserve or the government saying, "Look, it's getting better. Look, it's great." But in the meantime, you're now paying 50 more bucks. You're not paying 75 more, but you're paying 50 more on a $100 product. So it's I just think that it's one of those things, like, it's like, as inflation happens, the answer to it really is make more. um, you have to make enough to be able to outpace inflation. And inflation, when you look at it year over year is not really the same as what it looks like month over month. And the interesting thing, so I compare it to a car loan versus a savings account. So a savings account has an APY, right? So if you have a 5% APY, if you slice it up, no matter how you do the math, you're going to pay 5%, or you're going to earn 5% over the course of X amount of time. Say, call it a year or something. A car loan at 5% is not the same as an APY, because a car loan is APR. That means it's calculated daily, so that daily calculation is compounding on a daily basis. And so, because that is the case, your 5% on your car is not going to cost you as much as the 5% that you earn in your savings account. And that's kind of how I see inflation a lot of the times. It's kind of like the APR of the economy, and it makes perfect sense because inflation happens as a result of government taking loans that taxpayers pay back. So, so the answer really, like I said, is to make more, and you have to make enough to be able to outpace that inflation. I don't know why I went on a tangent, but it seemed important, so I did it. Okay, we got an ABCD pattern showing up here. Sorry for the cough into the microphone. Um, Coming up, hitting resistance at 4K yet again. There we go. Kind of annoying, the music keeps like stopping. I think that I may actually, like, if I download the music, I wonder if that would solve that issue. Like, if I download the music, put it on my computer, instead of using it on the web browser. Just made a little 3-tick trade. Jumping over to the, trying to jump to the eval. I have too many windows sometimes, it feels. We got a cyan switch, but it's on a red dot. I don't like that it's on a red dot. So, I'm glad we took that tiny little trade there. Join the bid here. Entered at 4,000 and a quarter. Looking to get at 4,001. Okay, now we're starting to get a little bit of a move, but are we just going to reject yet again like we have been? Because, like, even this was a cyan switch. It's still rejected right there at 4,002. 9's above the 12, and all of it's above the 26. Although the 35 is still above the 20, or below the 26. That's not as good for momentum. We'd want the 35 to get above the 26. I'm pretty sure that happened back here. Yeah, right here. You can see what happens when the 35 gets above the 26. The 26 being this white line. When the 35 is above it, you saw we got this big momentum push. And then when the 26 crossed above, right in here, when the 26 crossed above the 35, you can see that's when the chart began to pull back some. So same situation, you can see this ABCD pattern pretty clearly. Same situation here. We'd love for the 35 to get above the 26. It is a bit diverged at the moment though, so I don't know if that's too much to ask. Jumping for a 4-tick and joining the bid right here. Entered in at nothing. Haven't got the answer yet. Entered in at 4,001 and a quarter. Looking to get out at 4,002 and a quarter. Taking that profit right there. Made 125 back on that one. 4,002 has been a bit of a heavy resistance zone. Did pop up, but a lot of selling pressure coming in. Now, definitely would have been nice to take this off of 4,000 and ride it on up, because that is enough to actually earn that funding. So, pulling back rather like kind of heavily. Jumping on the 3 minute chart and seeing what we got going on. So 3 minute chart is telling us a little bit of a different story of the 1 minute. 3 minute, you can see this decline here in the momentum on the TTM. Now this is directly correlated to buys and sells. And then on top of that, we've got a red dot forming on this candle here. So in about 1 minute, we'll have a new 3 minute candle. And if we do get a science, which on the 3 minute candle, it may look pretty good. We'd want to see a green dot. Let's jump on the 5 minute chart and see what we got going on here. On the 5 minute chart, we've actually been stacking up on the momentum, but 7.9 to 8.9, so that one was decent, to 9.1, so that's very little, to 0.4, to again 0.4. So reasonable momentum stacking on the 5 minute chart. You can see that resistance there, that 4005 zone there. That's going to be a pretty heavy line in the sand, and big rejection off of 4003. And like I said, 4002 has been pretty heavy resistance as well, area. So you can see we struggled at it here, 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 and then all on this backside too. 9 still above 12. 9 and 12 above 26. 135 get above the 26. Pulling back some yet again. We want to see a bounce off 35, which is the blue line. 35 is currently at 97. So we'll be looking for a bounce off 97. It's 8 o'clock, so we're at the top of the hour now. Alright, so TTM on the 3 continue to decline into the 8 o'clock time zone. Movement from 4.9 to 4.2 to 3.5 to 2.8. So it's been declining at a rate of 0.7 or so per candle on the TTM. 2 red dots in a row as well. I think Douglas is right. I think that the markets don't know what they want to do, truthfully. So here we are at the top of the hour. We are what, 680 for $300 or so away from earning funding. We're getting a massive drop in the ES right now. The drop pulled back to around 95. On the 3-minute chart, something that I noticed on the 3 is that the 26 has just crossed above the 35. Now this may not bode well in order to maintain bullish movement. We may actually end up getting a trend reversal sometime in the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. But we'll see what happens, because I've seen this before where basically this will pull back to about red on the TTM, and then it'll bounce off that and we'll continue ripping up. Green in our evaluation, $331.40, and red in the sim, $1,562. We have earned over 20K in the last 2 weeks or so. I guess today would be the 3rd week. Again, continued momentum on the TTM toward the downside. Look for a quick short there. Entered in at 95 and a quarter. Look for just a little, like one of those little flash downs. I don't know if it's gonna happen though. Nine's below the 12. Just got a 1226 crossover. To what? 2 candles ago. Yeah, I did get that short. Um, so that was short off 95, down towards the bottom of 94 area, which you can see this area here like went down to about 92, 92 and a half. Down 1312 in the sim today, up 300 or so in the evaluation. And it's the evaluation that matters anyway, so at least matters the most. In the sim, the whole reason why I trade this has a lot to do with me just getting in the hours, putting in the practice, doing the time to attempt to become a master in this craft. Pulling back up to 94. Again, we'd be looking for a yellow candle on the TTM. You can see we pull back to that 92 area, which was right where we're here. On the 3 minute chart, 9 is still above 12, so that does bode well in terms of, yeah. I don't know, it's just kind of conflicting information a lot today. So, being as that's the case, and we've had a bit of a struggle predicting movement today. May end up just shut it down a little early. Yeah, taking that L, cutting that. I was worried about trading on today, really, just because of Thursday and Friday's insane bull run. So yeah, scalps, sure, man. That's actually what I'm trying to do right now is like very quick scalps. Um, Although it doesn't seem to be working out as much as I would like it to. So, guys, if you'd like to earn funding in the futures market like me, I'm very close to it. I need about 300 bucks. Check out Elite Trader Funding. These guys are awesome. They have amazing customer service. It's one of the things I personally look for. You can earn funding as low as $10,000, and you can earn funding all the way up to $300,000 and actually trade with the whole house each and every day. There is a link in the description that will also give you a lifetime discount if you use the promo code JSBEST. Now, personally, I'm trying to earn funding right now in the 50K evaluation, and you can take a max position of 8 contracts in the mini or 80 in the micro. Personally, 5 is enough for me. I don't like to take full size just because it does present more risk. But this does have a max drawdown of $2,000 and a profit target of $3,000. Pretty minimal, although it can still be challenging. So obviously be careful. There also is a function here, or a function. There's a link here to the see more details, and that will actually link you to a page that will tell you all the ins and outs of this thing here. But you only have a minimum of 5 trading days. You don't have to do 2 evaluations, nothing like that. I personally think these guys are the best in the marketplace based off of what I've seen out there. Comparatively speaking, I personally think these guys are one of the best prop firms. Plus, they do sales every now and then that are pretty awesome. But with my link in the description, you'll actually be able to lock in a lifetime discount. Now that promo code does work on everything here, with the exception of the fast tracks evaluations, because these are already pretty heavily discounted. You can see you get 100K for 75 bucks. So it's pretty inexpensive in regards to all that type of stuff. So guys, having said all that, if you guys were looking to join and try to earn funding in the futures market, I'd appreciate it if you use the link in the description. It does help the channel grow and does help us move on to the next day, so to speak. And lastly, guys, if you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, and ringing the bell for notifications, all that does is all that stuff does is help the channel grow, helps the community grow, helps our the people in our Discord group have more people to communicate with, and yeah, and lastly, check out our Discord group. We'd love to have you in there and hear your insights on trading and investing and anything else in between. Maybe if you're entrepreneurs, we'd love to hear that too. I'm personally really big into entrepreneurship, have been for many years, and I always love talking to other entrepreneurs about the same type of subject because entrepreneurs, excuse me, in my opinion, are a special breed. There's not a lot of them. Just pulling in, checking out charts, getting a bounce off that 50 EMA on the 3 minute chart. I like the bounces off the on the 50 on the 3 minute chart because they do seem to resolve reasonably well. So this is a pullback to about 92 and a push back up to about 95. You can see we may end up getting a 1226 crossover on the 3 minute chart. If that's the case, last week we did I think it was Thursday, we did a 40 tick trade off of that move. And if that actually takes place, you may want to take that trade. We went short, by the way, when that happened. Next candle's at 812, which is in 2 minutes. So let's see. I wonder if we can get a short off of 95. Let's try for plus 30 ticks, which is a crazy, crazy amount, but I'm trying to short off 95. See if we can get that entry. So if it does begin to pull back up some, TTM looking strong for momentum towards the downside for that stack there. I want to see it pull back up to about 95, then reject. Guess we'll know at 812. It just did the rejection without me. Gonna alright, we went short at 89 and a quarter. It's definitely not where we wanted to be. Looking for 30 ticks to the downside, so we're actually looking for a move down to that red line there, or past that red line actually. Jumping to the evaluation, and a lot of people covering here. It's 8:11. New candle in 5 seconds. New 3 minute candle and 1 minute candle, obviously. Wouldn't be surprised if we get some covers. Gonna flat this, take that profit, and then gonna put this at 12, and then look for a short off that 200 moving average right there, which is right at 88. So I'm looking to go short off of 88. Got the entry, and I'm looking to short down to 85. I should have taken this in the eval. So that was 12 ticks. Made 750 back on that one. That was a pullback down to 85, and so our lows, or rather, what I consider to be, like, obviously we can go down to 75, but I was putting that around 82, 83, and we pulled back pretty close to that amount. Gonna go short off of like 86. See if we can do that. Got the entry short at 86 on the sim. And I'm trading the 3-minute chart right now in the sim. So next candle's at 8:15, which is just in about a minute. Certainly wish I would have taken that short on the eval off of 88, because that was a nice short. Might get a bounce here at 85, so I'm going to cut this. Jumping over to the 1-minute chart. I was about to shut it down, and then we started to get some momentum. It's downward momentum, but momentum's momentum. It doesn't matter which direction it's going. We do have a doji at the bottom. So this is a super solid move. The let me get to the right chart. Okay, so this is a super solid move that I'm going to incorporate into my strategy, because this has worked out the 2 times that we did it, and it's super just been very solid. Like it's always been a very momentum move. I've watched it a little bit, but prior to actually taking the trade originally, I took the trade last Thursday, and it is a 26 simple moving average crossover above the 12 exponential moving average. Is a short strategy. And what we're doing is we're entering short right at around that crossover point, or on that crossover candle on the 3-minute chart. Okay, this obviously works on the 1-minute chart, but for the momentum move that we're looking for, that's on the 3. So I'm going to just put this in its nice little package of a strategy and add it to my toolbox, because this is certainly a very nice short move that can be applied seemingly any day, anytime it happens. And so I think I'm going to keep that one, and I'm going to run with that one as a strategy in my toolbox, especially when we're going like when we're having days where it's choppy or indecisive. So that's really awesome, by the way. Grateful at how strong that strategy seems to be and how accurate it seems to be. Always good vibes, my man. Always. I genuinely don't know what's up with the music, man. I'm going to probably. I wonder if I would, if all this like where it stops itself and whatnot. I wonder if that would actually stop if I was to download my playlist and play it directly from my computer instead of doing the web. So we did. So shorting off at 85 actually was a pretty good deal, because it ended up coming down to 83. Momentum to the downside on the 3-minute chart looking like 4.5 over to 6. That's pretty strong momentum, honestly. So there was that doji that we were talking about. It looks like it popped up a little bit off of that, up to like 96, and then pulled. Then actually did pull back. Or sorry, 86, not 96. My apologies. Momentum on the downside looking like half a point to like 0.6, in that range. Okay, so we did just get a yellow candle on the downside here, or in between yellow and red. I would wait for the full yellow switch here. It's currently 8:18 Pacific time. It's 11:18 market. Volume looking okay. It's not terrible. Normally you see this yellow line right here. I'm actually going to make it a different color. Let's make this, I like dark blue. There we go. So, and actually I'm going to upgrade the thickness of this as well. Okay, so normally I'm looking for volume right in this area here. You can see we're well below that today. We are pulling all the way back to 80. $9.5 to $9.8 to 10. So minimal movement down. Let's check this against the 5-minute chart. 5 minutes shows heavy cool off. You can see 9.8 was their last cyan to 9.0, or sorry, 8.0 to 7.8, and then a drop all the way to 5.25 to 2.5. So very like strong momentum towards the downside. And 9's below 12 in the 5, and we're coming up on another crossover move, this time on the 5-minute chart, with that 26 and that 12. We won't know till about 8:20, but it's pretty close. This is 8:20 right now, and there's that crossover. So let's jump in here and see how this looks on the 5. I know how it performs in the 3, but I've not really done too much on the 5. I'm gonna take a short here off 82.25 and see if we get a continue push downward. We do have a red forming on the TTM on the 5-minute chart. Switching back to the 1. The 1-minute chart, I actually wish that I didn't take that short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down 875 on the day. I think we can get green, honestly. Now, I cut that because you can see these two yellow candles here. 9.6 to 9.5. It's probably going to continue to push downward. And it may look like, let me see if I can give an example of it. Not today. Here you go. It may look like this, where, like, this is even too nice of an example, but, or too bad of an example. But, right here, it may look like this. So let's zoom in on that. Where it's like you're seeing this, these two yellow candles where you get a little bit of a green, but then you flash back to red, and push down even more, before you finally get the actual yellow candle switch over. 3 candles in a row on the yellow, 9.6 to 9.2, or sorry, 9.6 to 9.5 to 9.2. Very little momentum on that though. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you got that Bitcoin short. That's super dope. And just buying dips on the QQQ. I'd like to actually earn that funding today, but I'm not going to push and put myself in a position that is not exactly where we want to be, so. Taking a long here. I'm looking for a move up to 85.5. I may be scalping too large, honestly. Truthfully, I am. I should be going for like 2 ticks, which is like nothing. With a possible crossover on the 1-minute chart, I don't know if that'll actually resolve though. So TTM went from 9.2 to 8.3 to 7.6. So this is looking reasonable for an upward move. 1, 2 green candles with the doji, and then so there's that upward move. Down 750 in the sim, but up 300 plus in the evaluation. We only need like $300 in order to earn funding. Super, super, super close. But it's a crazy choppy day with low volume, so we have to be very, very careful. Putting in for a 6 tick, um, and 9.2 to 8.3 to 7.6, 8.3 to 7.6. That is a 0.7 increase. That's pretty reasonable on the 1 minute chart. It's not great, but it's not bad. The 1 minute chart, I usually want to see over 1 point, but yeah, what it is. 7.9 to 8.7 on the 3 minute chart on the TTM. Next candle's at 827, which is 3 minutes away. So we just got this. This is a fresh one. 3 minute chart telling a different story than the one uh, with that momentum. Jumping to the 5 and taking a look at that. 5 is still stuck on this like barely red TTM candle. It's actually switched into blue. That next candle is in 8 seconds. So let's watch the 5 minute chart. If you notice, I care a lot about the 3 minutes and the 5 minute charts because it does make a difference in terms of the overall movement of things. 3 minute is obviously a little bit longer, but I love the 3 minute in order to be able to predict price trending. It's very, very useful for that. I like the 5 minute to be able to predict long term breakouts. And many traders have told me that the 5 minute chart is a very, very short time frame and yada yada yada, and they're like, you should be looking at the hourly charts and the daily charts and the yearly charts, and you should be looking all the way back to the year 1750 in order to be able to determine the movement today. And I personally just don't do that. I like to trade the chart in front of me and the momentum that's in front of me because that's what has worked out for me for years, and I like doing it that way. So that's the way that I tend to do it. By the way, I hope you enjoyed Actor Hour there with the voice. Bouncing off at 85. Gonna take a long here. Looking for 4 ticks to the upside, or a little bit more actually, 6. Entered at 85 and a half, and looking to get at 87 flat. Got a possible crossover on the 1 minute chart. Although 50 just crossed below 200, but a lot of the moving average has not been totally respected today. They need a little RSP ECT. Find out what these moving averages mean to me. Six point 0 to 5.2 on the TTM on the 1 minute chart. Like I said, is a reasonable momentum towards the upside, but we also got the 35 crossing over the 26th. Again, that's helpful for determining potential trend and trend reversal. A lot of resistance right there. If you can see, we've got a wick here at 85, 85 and 3/4. Another wick at 86 and a wick at 86 again. Um, so, but again, that momentum stacking up reasonably well. Let's measure this yet again against the 3 minute chart. 3 minute has yet to put in a yellow. Next one's at 8:30. We just got this one now, just about a minute ago. Just jumping in, checking in with y'all, seeing what's up. Uses WAP standard deviation lines. Seems to be respecting them. Okay, that's cool. Do you even use 1 hour? That's cool. Yeah, that's what I feel, man. I'm not trying to rush it. Like I definitely don't. I think this is good advice right here. You got time left. No rushing it. That is super good advice because frankly, like it's like, if I get funded today or I get funded tomorrow, what difference does it make, right? It's 24 hours. Um, and so because it's the case, it's like, just take your time, make sure you do it right. Cut that tray that we were sitting in on the sim. Took a little bit of loss on it. Um, so it's been it's been a hell of a day, man. Um, we'll see what happens at 8:30. Just waiting really on 8:30 at this point. TTM on 3 is red 8.9 to 9.7. So that's still a lot of momentum towards that downside. Um, it is within the Bollinger Band, so that's nice. But will it actually bounce off that? You see, we got these 3 wicks right here. Um, all right, 8:30 now. When I said 3 wicks right here, I meant like 3 wicks right here around 85. So 85 is clearly a resistance zone right there. Even more pullback. 0.7 or 9.7 to 10.4. So this is 0.7 increase momentum toward the downside at the moment. Who knows if it'll stick? If this does end up switching yellow on the 3-minute chart, then I think we'll get some nice moves back up towards VWAP. Look for resistance though at this 200 simple moving average, which is right at 88. So look for resistance at 88. Join the bid here at 86 and a quarter. And I'm looking for a move up to 87 and a half. Or 87 and 3/4 rather. Might get a cyan switch here on the 1. Super close to it. So it looks like the 35 and the 200 moving average are very, very close in proximity. We got a cyan switch potentially inbound, but it is on red dots. So what red dots really means a lot of times that we're stepping outside of that Bollinger Band. But I don't think this is going to matter because we're in it in the 3-minute chart. At least last I checked. We'll have to verify that, but looking at 87 and 3/4 on the sim. Also, we'd be looking for the 9 EMA to get above the 12 EMA. That's always really nice for a little bit of an upward move. And we're very close to a 1226 crossover as well. We got the 9 above the 12 there. I'm going to jump over to the evaluation now. And I'm going to join the bid here.
Order
Entry
filled.
at 87 and a quarter. We've got 4 green candles in a row. So I'm actually going to put this just 1 tick up and
Order
right, so we
filled.
did get that. I definitely felt like I could have taken more on that, but because it lagged there, I don't want to say lagged, but because it held that resistance there at that EMA 35, I was a bit hesitant to stay in that trade. We did take a single tick on that. So that puts us up $372.10 on the day. Big, huge pullback off that. We need, what, $275 in order to earn funding now. This 1226 crossover, that's what we want to see on that 1-minute chart. The 9 is above the 12, so I think that we're going to get it. I could be wrong. But 9 is above 12, and we do have cyan on the GTM. Very important. And cyan is currently at 0.6 up to 1.2. So that's a movement of 0.6 on the 1 minute chart, that's very minimal. We want to be seeing on the 1 minute chart usually 0.8 or higher. Um, I would say even closer to 1 is definitely a lot more reliable. So it is pushing though. There it goes. 0.6 to 1.6. There we go. That's that full 1 point I was talking about. 8 seconds left on this candle. Pushed all the way up to the VWAP. Looking good. Currently down $1,000, and oh, there's that first 3 minute candle. That's what we've been looking for. The first 3 minute candle on the 3 minute chart. That's what we've been looking for. The first yellow candle, I should say, on the 3 minute chart. Pushed all the way up into the 90s, and everyone knows that the 90s rocked. I know, I'm dark. I just like to be dorky. It's fun. Entered in at 93 3/4. 93 3/4. Massive rip on that. I really wish I went more aggressively on this, but you know, it is what it is. It's been a very challenging day, so trying to make sure that what I'm trading right. 2 seconds left on this candle. It's pushing way past. A little spaced out for me. Switch back over to the 1 minute chart. T10 went from 2.0 to 4.1 to 5.9. Massive momentum coming in. That's awesome. We're above VWAP, but 9's above 12. Everything's looking solid for an upside move. Five seconds left on this candle. Join the
Order
bid here,
filled.
minute 98.
Order filled.
Got out at 98.50. Just kind of scalping my way into. So we're up $475.30. We need. So 828 minus 1,000, or 1, 2, 3, minus 828.36. We need $171.64 in order to earn funding. That is super, super close. Whew, yeah, very nice rip. And I'm very grateful for it too. And the fact that we have been patient through all this is very challenging. But we need $171 and some change in order to earn funding. So just for figuring that out, what is that in terms of $171.64? Let's divide that by 12.5, or actually 62.5. But we only need a 3-tick trade. Yeah, so that'd be 187.50. But 5 times 4.36, 2180, 750. So we actually need 4 ticks because of fees. So, but again, I'm going to be very patient. Waited this long, wait a little longer. Not a big deal. We finally got green on the day. Green 500 in the sim. That was a fight like a crazy fight. This is the first time we've been green all day. We took 125 contracts, so we probably are red due to fees. Um, but divide that by five. We've taken 25 trades in order to get there. Um, but that 125 is 4.36. Yeah, $545 in fees in the sim. So technically we're red 45 in the sim right now, but but we're green, so that's good. Green is good. Possible crossover again on the 1226 side on the 3 minute chart. Now it's incredibly powerful towards the downside, as you can see right here. And that trade that we did on Thursday, we made over $2,500 on that one trade. I think it was $2,500. Let's see. Let's find out. So 6250 times 40. Yeah, 2,500. That's what we made before fees, and fees were minimal because it was literally one trade. So let's see. Currently, this is our fresh 3 minute candle right now, which is on a pullback, pulling back to 39.95. By the way, if you guys are chilling, y'all hanging out, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We're here. We're earning funding. We're just hanging out with y'all. It's a fun time. Looking for a bounce off this 95, potentially a bounce towards 4,000 yet again. The momentum is looking great on the 3 minute chart. And I may look for an entry off of like 95.50, which it tapped for a second, but just kind of blew past a little bit. So I'm just going to join the bid here, going long. Did get the entry actually at 95.25, and gonna hold through this little pullback because I think it's gonna micro, and I'm not worried about it. A little bit of cooling on the 1 minute side, but I'm basically trading this against the 3 minute chart. That is a little more pullback than I wanted to see on that, but I also, again, I don't really feel worried based off the 3 minute chart. Might even bounce here at this 9 EMA. We've also got a possible crossover still on the, but you can see it is pretty diverged. That's at 92.5, and the cyan here, where are you, is at 90. So still got another like 3 minute candle probably in order to get that crossover. It was at 42, and that is only 15 seconds away. So this is pulling up. Got really kind of a 3 minute hammer candle. Nice bounce off that 9 EMA. So that bounce was off of 93.75, and that moved all the way up to 97. So almost 12 ticks on that one single bounce. Okay, so we got that new 3 minute candle. Let's jump in on it and see what's up. From 3.6 to 1.8, solid momentum move, and still working on that crossover. Very close to it now. Measuring this against the 5 minute chart, and here I was about to shut it down early. 3.1 to 2.6. Got my very first yellow candle on the 5 minute chart at 840. We'll have a new 5 minute candle here in 2 minutes. And yet again, the piano player is out, and the music stopped. go. Jump back to sim. Clear resistance at 97. You can see this right here. How many times has tapped this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's pulled back heavily off it a couple of times. New 5 and 3 minute candle here in just 1 minute. So once this candle's over at 8:45, we'll have a new candle to base things off of, and really I think that'll determine what ends up happening in the evaluation next, what trade we take next there. Green slightly in the sim today after a huge fight. 3.6 to 1.8-ish on the 3 minute chart. 15 seconds and we get a new 3 and a 5. Ugh. Feel like I'm waiting for the ball to drop on New Year's Eve. 1.8 to 0.2 on the TTM. I do think it's gonna pop up to 98. Really, I think it's gonna retest 4,000, but did you see that moving? Just like stopped at 97 for a second. Up 500 in this trade in the sim. Our entry was 95 and a quarter, so got a really nice entry on that. I'm waiting for it to actually hit 98 and a quarter and fulfill the whole trade, but it's struggled to get there. 2 reds and a doji currently. 1.8 to 0.2. We're super close to a cyan switch on the 3 minute chart, man. Join the bid. Oh my gosh, I am so far off of that. I knew I should have just taken that way early. So we did get that trade. Now up 1,250 in the sim, and we just got a fresh cyan candle on the 3 minute chart. This is looking strong for a much bigger move to the upside. Gonna put this actually at 20 ticks and join the bid right in here. We just got a 1226 crossover as well, and jumping over to the evaluation and looking for an entry point. Join the bid there at 39.99, 75. Looking for a move past 4,000. We're just looking for 4 ticks to the upside. May have to cut this one. It should have. Yeah, damn. Ooh. And heavy loss. I was very worried about that. That actually took us from being green on the day to being red on the day. I was very worried about that off that trade, and now red 296.50. We were literally 180 bucks away from earning funding. Now we have to work our way all the way back, and that's almost a G that we got to work back. Ugh, how frustrating. And it popped right back up and literally hit pretty much exactly what our trade idea was, of course. I do still feel confident that this is going to keep pushing upward. Switching over over to the 1 minute chart. Heavy resistance at 4,000. Way more resistance than was to be expected, considering that there is the 26 crossover on the 3 minute chart as well as the cyan switch. So a lot of indicators working for us towards the upside, and yet still played out that way, um, which is pretty frustrating. Next 3 minute candle's at 51, which is in 2 minutes. I think a lot of people were anticipating that $4,000 breakout. But you can see that a lot of traders actually went short at 4. Kind of surprising, all things considered. But I guess volume is low today, so in a low volume and choppy days, anything can happen. Yeah, they do kind of feel like fake outs. I agree with you, Douglas. It does kind of feel a little bit, but you know, like I think a lot of it is just really because the volume is low, so it's difficult for patterns to play out when the volume is low. That was our first loss that we took in the evaluation today, and unfortunately, it just happened to be a pretty large one. Joined the bid here at 99 in the evaluation. Got the entry,
Order filled.
and looks like we got the entry on a pullback. What the hell? Oh my god.
Order filled.
All right, we're done for the day. That's a pretty massive loss. So cutting all that, and that's that. Got to call it on the day, and unfortunately, we were literally less than $200 away from funding, and now we have more work to do. So, um, so first losing day in a while. Like, haven't had a loss in quite some time. Pretty much most of the month. Um, but it is what it is. Here we are. Although all things considered, the volume was low today. It was very challenging. Frankly, I was pretty happy with the way that we were trading in the evaluation. Perhaps nerves got to me at the end there, and perhaps I pushed a little too far. Whatever the case is, we've got to work our way back now. So, very frustrating, all of it, to be like all things considered, especially because chart pattern wise, this should have broken out, and the fact that it hit that much resistance at 4,000 really is pretty astonishing, honestly, because there really was just so much momentum that for it to turn on a dime like that, it's pretty challenging. Like it's just pretty crazy for me to think about it like that. It reminds me of this audio that says momentum is a cruel mistress. It can turn on you, or it can turn on a dime or something like that. Um, but all that said, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down, guys. If you would like to earn funding in the futures market, make sure you check out Elite Trader Funding, guys. I love and appreciate you. There's a link in the description as well as a promo code JSBEST that you guys can use to earn funding. Or let me rephrase everything. There's a link in the description, guys. You can use promo code JSBEST in order to get a lifetime discount on there. And we'll see you guys in the Discord group. Much love and appreciation. We'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 market time. Thanks so much, guys. Love and appreciation, and peace.